come into my office, they're brilliant people, highly educated, and they can't come to an agreement on which way the toilet paper should come off of the roll. And it's like, but what they're not fighting to be effective, they're fighting to see who's right and who's wrong. Because whoever is right is here, and whoever is wrong is down here. So I ask people to quit using right and wrong altogether. Just quit using it. Use effective, ineffective, or less effective. Now, you could tell me, you know, Ray, that stuff you were talking about, that just really wasn't very effective. And I'm probably going to respond with, really, why do you think that's true? If you tell me, Ray, you're wrong, you can hear it, right? What that's going to do is trigger defensive. Yeah, you're wrong. And there the fight goes. So the fight is no longer about how do we resolve this problem or this issue. The fight is about who wins and who loses. And nobody wants to be told they're wrong. Wrong has all kinds of connotations of bad, evil, all kinds of negative connotations with it. So when you tell somebody, well, you know, you're wrong, guess what? You're going to trigger defensiveness, more than likely, and an argument and a fight. And very often I would ask couples when I'm working with them, what is it? I don't ask them, what is it you're fighting about? I ask them, what is it you're fighting for? What is it you're fighting for? Well, no, and then they try and go back, well, she doesn't do this or he doesn't do that. I said, yeah, but what are you fighting for? And very often it's to keep from being wrong. And they will fight to the death not to be wrong. Now, especially people that have been abused as children, because what they got punished for many times was things they did wrong. Not ineffective, but wrong. I remember my daughter asking me one time, she said, Dad, when you and, this was my previous one, when you and Kate get in a fight, who wins and who loses most often? I said, we don't fight over who wins or loses. We fight to problem solve what is the most effective way to deal with something. So getting rid of right and wrong altogether. And if you walk around thinking to yourself, you know, I did that wrong. Well, that doesn't feel very good, and it doesn't change anything. But if you think to yourself, you know, that wasn't really very effective the way I did that. It could have been more effective. Now you can begin to think, how would that have been more effective? But if you say, oh, I was really wrong to do that. Now, some things that are, you know, wrong because they're bad and evil, and I'm not saying that child abuse is effective or ineffective. It's definitely wrong because it's a bad thing. But many of the things that bring us down that we think, well, I was wrong in doing that. It doesn't do any good. I wasn't as effective as I would have liked to have been. How could I be more effective next time? So it triggers inquiry. And with inquiry, things can change. Without it, it just stays the same. Okay, but I would really encourage you to get that book. If you don't get the workbook, get that David Burns book on the Feeling Good Handbook. I would encourage you to read that one. That one's about this thick. It's a lot of words. It's a lot of good information. The workbook is a whole lot more succinct and faster. So I would encourage you in that direction.